In formal hypnosis, you make an agreement with the hypnotist. For a while, you will accept his ideas about reality instead of your own. If he tells you that there is a pink elephant in front of you, then you will see it and believe it is there, and act according to the suggestions given. If you are a good subject and your hypnotist a good practitioner, then blisters can arise on your skin if he tells you that you have been burned. You can perform physical feats that you would consider impossible otherwise. All of this because you willingly suspended certain beliefs and allow yourself to accept others for the moment. Unfortunately, because of the pattern considered necessary, it is thought that the conscious mind is lulled and its activity suspended. Quite the contrary, it is focused, intensified, narrowed to a specific area, and all other stimuli are cut out. This intensity of conscious concentration cuts down barriers and allows the messages to go directly to the unconscious, where they are acted upon. The hypnotist, however, is important in that he acts as a direct representative of authority. In your terms, beliefs are accepted initially from the parents. This, as mentioned earlier, having to do with mammalian experience. The hypnotist then acts as a parent substitute. In cases of therapy, an individual is always frightened, and because of the beliefs in your civilization, he looks not to himself, but to an authority figure for help. Even in primitive societies, witch doctors and other natural therapists have understood that the point of power is in the present, and they have utilized natural hypnosis as a method of helping other individuals to concentrate their own energy. All of the gestures, dances, and other procedures are shock treatments, startling the subject out of habitual reactions so that he or she is forced to focus upon the present moment. The resulting disorientation simply shakes current beliefs and dislodges set frameworks. The hypnotist or witch doctor or therapist then immediately inserts the beliefs he thinks the subject needs. Within this context, subsidiary groupings will be included that involve the therapist's own ideas. In your society, regression is often involved. The patient will remember and relive a traumatic experience from the past. This will then appear to be the cause of the present difficulty. If the hypnotist and subject both accept this, then at that level there will be progress. If the cultural concepts include voodoo or witchcraft, then the therapeutic situation will be seen in that context, and a curse will be uncovered, which, using the PowerPoint of the present, the doctor will then reverse. Quite without the context of formal hypnosis, however, the same issues apply. With the greatest understanding and compassion, let me mention that Western medicine is in its way one of the most uncivilized hypnotic devices. The most educated Western doctors will look with utter dismay and horror at the thought of a chicken being sacrificed in a primitive witch doctor's hut, and yet will consider it quite scientific and inevitable that a woman sacrifice 2 breasts to cancer. The doctors will simply see no other way out, and unfortunately, neither will the patient. A modern Western physician, granted with the greatest discomfiture, will inform his patient that he is about to die, impressing upon him that his situation is hopeless, and yet will react with scorn and loathing when he reads that a voodoo practitioner has put a curse upon some innocent victim. In your time, medical men, again with great superiority, look at primitive cultures and harshly judge the villagers they think are held in the sway of witch doctors or voodooism. And yet through advertisement and organization, your doctors impress upon each individual in your culture that you must have a physical examination every 6 months or you will get cancer, that you must have medical insurance because you will become ill. In many instances, therefore, modern physicians are inadequate witch doctors who have forgotten their craft, hypnotists who no longer believe in the power of healing, and whose suggestions bring about other diseases which are diagnosed in advance. You are told what to look for. You are as cursed, far more, as any native in a tiny village, only you lose breasts, appendixes, and other portions of your anatomy. The doctors follow their own ideas, of course, and in that system they see themselves as completely justified, as humane. In the medical field, as in no other, you are faced directly with the full impact of your beliefs, For doctors are not the healthiest, but the least healthy. They fall prey to the beliefs to which they so heartily subscribe. Their concentration is upon disease, not health. Now, your doctors are also the victims of their own belief system, in other words. They constantly surround themselves with negative suggestions. When disease is seen as an invader, forced upon the integrity of the self for no reason, then the individual seems powerless, and the conscious mind an adjunct. The patient is sometimes compelled to sacrifice one organ after another to his beliefs and to the doctor's. Luckily, you have other quote-unquote underground beliefs in chiropractic, health foods, and even quacks. These all provide some other framework in which problems can be solved in matters of health. At least in these cases, damaging drugs are not given, and the integrity of the body is not further maligned. Chiropractors, again, are hypnotists. Unfortunately, they are trying to gain respectability in medical terms, and are therefore emphasizing the quote-unquote scientific aspects of their work, and playing down the intuitive elements and natural healing. The quote-unquote quacks end up with those who are hopeless, who realize the ineffectiveness of other belief systems, find them wanting, and have no place to go. Some of the quote-unquote quacks may be unscrupulous and dishonest, yet many of them possess an intuitive understanding and can work quote-unquote cures through the instant alteration of belief. The medical profession is fond of saying that such individuals prevent patients from seeking proper treatment. The fact is that such patients no longer believe in the doctor's system of belief, and so could not be helped by them. To a medical man, all of this will seem like the sheerest heresy, because disease will always be seen as an objective thing in the body, to be objectively treated and removed. But a man who feels, quote-unquote, that he has no heart, will not be saved by the most sophisticated heart transplant until first that belief is changed. In other areas, an individual who thinks that he is poor will lose or misuse or badly invest any amount of money, whether he works hard for it or is given it. A person who has hypnotized himself into a state of loneliness will be desolate, although surrounded by 100 friends and admirers. What does all of this mean to you in your daily life, and how can you utilize natural hypnosis to better your experience? In those areas in which you are dissatisfied, you feel that you are powerless, that your will is paralyzed, or that conditions continue despite what you think of as your intent. Yet if you pay attention to your own quite conscious thoughts, you will find that you are concentrating upon precisely those negative aspects that so appall you. You are hypnotizing yourself quite effectively, and so reinforcing the situation. You may say, horrified, "What can I do? I am hypnotizing myself into my own overweight condition, or my loneliness, or my poor health." Yet, in other facets of your life, you may be hypnotizing yourself into wealth, accomplishment, satisfaction. And here you do not complain. The same issues are involved. The same principles are operating. In those positive life situations, you are certain of your initiative. There is no doubt. Your beliefs become reality. Now, in the unsatisfactory aspects, you must understand this. There is also no doubt. You are utterly convinced that you are sick, or poor, or lonely, or spiritually opaque, or unhappy. The results then, as easily and effortlessly, follow. Natural hypnosis, in the terms given here, operates as well in one case as in the other. What should you do then? First of all, you must realize that you are the hypnotist. You must seize the initiative here as you have in other positive aspects of your life. Whatever the superficial reasons for your beliefs, you must say, "For a certain time, I will momentarily suspend what I believe in this area, and willfully accept the belief I want. I will pretend that I am under hypnosis, with myself as hypnotist and subject. For that time, desire and belief will be one. There will be no conflict, because I do this willingly. For this period, I will completely alter my old beliefs. Even though I sit quietly, in my mind I will act as if the belief I want were mine completely." At this point, Do not think of the future, but only of the present. If you are overweight, insert the weight that you think is ideal for you while you are following this exercise. Imagine that you are healthy if you have the belief that you are not. If you are lonely, believe that you are filled with the feeling of companionship instead. Realize that you are exerting your initiative to imagine such situations. Here there can be no comparison with your normal situation. Use visual data or words, whatever is most natural to you. And again, no more than 10 minutes is required. If you do this faithfully, within a month you will find the new conditions materializing in your experience. Your neurological structure will respond automatically. The unconscious will be aroused, bringing its great powers to bear, bringing you the new results. Do not try to overdo this, to go through the entire day worrying about beliefs, for example. This can only cause you to contrast what you have with what you want. Forget the exercise when it is completed. You will find yourself with impulses that arrive in line with these newly inserted beliefs, and then it is up to you to act on these and not ignore them. The initiative must be yours. You will never know unless you try the exercise. Now, if you are in poor health and have a physician, you had better continue going to him because you still rely on that system of belief. But use these exercises as supplements to build up your own sense of inner health and to protect you against any negative suggestions given by the doctor. Utilize the belief in physicians since you have it. Now, there is a definite correlation between what is called conditioning and compulsive action. Here, post-hypnotic suggestion operates as well as constant daily quote-unquote conditioning. Now, for example, take a woman who feels compelled to wash her hands 20 or 30 times a day. It is easy to recognize the fact that such a repeated behavior is compulsive. But when a man's ulcers bother him every time he eats certain foods, it is more difficult to perceive the fact that this behavior is also compulsive and repetitive. This is an excellent example of the way in which natural hypnotism can act to affect your system adversely. In a manner of speaking, repetitious actions intimately involve beliefs at the quote-unquote magical level. The behavior usually represents efforts to ward off quote-unquote evil that the individual feels is imminent. While it is easy then to understand the nature of exterior actions of repetitive quality, it is far more difficult to see many physical symptoms in the same light. But here also whole groups of recurring actions to certain stimuli are involved. Behind them there is often the same kind of compulsion. In their own ways, symptoms frequently operate actually as repetitive neurological ritual, meant to protect the sufferer from something else that he fears even more. That is why belief systems are so important in dealing with health and illness. Each of the systems uses paraphernalia, gestures, medicine, treatment, that are the exterior manifestations of beliefs shared by healer and patient alike. The same sort of situation operates in hay fever, for instance, and for that matter in most other diseases. Natural hypnosis and conscious beliefs give their proper instructions to the unconscious, which then dutifully affects the body mechanism so that it responds in a manner harmonious with the beliefs. So you condition your body to react in certain fashions,